and welcome to Business Today Television. I'm Karishma Sudani and joining me is the Chief Business Officer of Cleartrip, Mr. Prahlad Krishnamurthy. Prahlad, I'd like to start off by asking you about the summer travel that's round the corner. What kind of trends can we expect?
So yes, summer is, you could say, around the corner from April. So the key trends, one of the things which we are looking at it to be a little different is I'm not expecting the fares to be very different. In fact, they're going to be similar or a little higher. Based on this, I can see a lot of preponement happening where people are going to start booking in March itself. The reason is there is going to be a lot of incentives, offers, events which the airlines and the OTAs are going to promote, I feel, in March, because of which you are going to have some amount of preponement of demand, hopefully. In this, I also see international doing much better than domestic. So because of a lot of the visa-free destinations across the country, outside the country, you have a lot of spike on international nearby sectors to India as well. So these are some of the trends.
Prahlad, you mentioned about international tourism performing better in comparison to how the domestic travel has been. Is this more of a post-COVID trend that we are picking up?
You could say the trend is a little more recent. Obviously, post-COVID, there are two types of scenarios. So I'm discounting pre-COVID for now. Post-COVID, a lot of domestic plus plus sectors, as we call it internally, which is sectors which are 3 to 5 hours outside India, these have definitely started spiking. And there is a lot of also support which a lot of these countries are giving with respect to making it visa free. So Sri Lanka, Thailand, Maldives, all of these are doing quite well, quite a bit, and they're spiking as well. And the traditional markets where Indians have always flocked to with respect to UAE and Dubai and GCC countries, they're also doing quite well. You also have Indonesia. A lot of direct flights have started going in from India. Plan to go in into Bali and whatnot. So expect that to do well as well. I also missed adding on Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka also has seen an excellent spike over the last few months. So yes, international is definitely doing well.
How about domestic travel? What cities are performing well?
So domestic, let me talk about maybe some recency effect. So there is a lot of long weekends which are there, which have started coming in February and March itself. You have the Holi weekend, large weekend, which is coming in March. So you see some of the destinations which are doing well are Bagdogra, Srinagar, Dehradun, Jammu. These are doing quite well and they're spiking quite a bit.
Okay, now we have a Holi weekend that is coming next month, and I'm going to draw a slight analogy between luxury travel and affordable travel. Are you seeing affordability pick up when it comes to these long weekends?
Interesting question. The way I look at it is also the job of OTAs like us to make travel more affordable for the country. It's one of the key tenets of our company as well. So, how are you making or distributing affordability to people who want to travel? So, yes, international is more expensive, but the gap between international and domestic because of these locations have come down. But are you able to drive affordability through EMIs? Are you able to drive affordability to buy now, pay later products? Using all of this, I think Cleartrip has also been able to kind of drive that value, provide that value to our customers. So, yes, fares are high, but being with the affordability programs, I think adoption of these are increasing. So, I think 1 in 10 travelers potentially will adopt to all of these schemes going ahead.
Since you're also involved in hotels, could you provide us some analysis on what does well for leisure travel? Is it again luxury stays or affordability?
Hotels remain quite large still. I think the alternate accommodation, we call it alternate accommodation, which is all the homestays, the Airbnbs, the apartments, and whatnot, still are a smaller size of the market. From a value standpoint, they are only 12% of the market today. Majority remains hotels, and it's going to continue to remain so for the next few years. But that alternate accommodation space is extremely interesting and it's growing faster than the hotel space. And the number of properties are booming across the board. But from here and now standpoint, hotels still remain an extremely large chunk and they're going to remain for the next 3, 4 years.
Prahlad, just to gather some data for our viewers, could you tell us in terms of expected percentage increase in bookings this year that you're seeing on Cleartrip?
Yeah, sure. So Cleartrip is growing extremely well and fast. So for us, our growth rates are upwards of 40 to 50% over last year, especially on international. And we are doing quite well from that vantage point. And like I mentioned, while you have all these countries surrounding India which are doing well, we also have sectors like UK, Canada, Australia, which are doing quite well for us. So overall, yeah, around 40 to 50%.
Are there any discounts or promotions that Cleartrip plans to unveil for the summer travel or the long weekends?
So it's not only discounts. Let me talk about two key tenets that we offer to our customers. One is flexibility, and second is affordability. So, from a flexibility standpoint, are you able to provide your customers an option to potentially amend, potentially to cancel, and not face a huge brunt of those charges? That is something Cleartrip is known for, and we will keep doubling down on that. So, providing that value at a cheaper rate to our customers. It's not only discounts and promos. And the second portion is the affordability piece I already touched upon. So, how are you driving or breaking down a 30,000 rupee to and fro ticket into 3 months, into 6 months? Are you able to take care of that cost of that bank interest and ensure that the customer is able to pay that from a no fee standpoint? These are some of the schemes that we are working on. We think by doubling down on this, our disposition for our customers to come to Cleartrip will increase. And this is what we are doing currently.
What is your growth strategy for financial year 2025?
Sure. So, on the back of these two key tenets, which I spoke about, flexibility and affordability, while we have done quite a good job in the domestic air segment over the last couple of years, our focus this year remains on international air, getting that right, scaling that. And the second large focus remains on hotels as well. So, hotels is something which we recently forayed into. We're making big strides there with respect to direct relationships with a lot of chains, a lot of independent hotels. So, scaling that up. And the third, which is a little bit of a fledgling business but doing quite well, is our foray into corporate travel and foray into agency travel from a tool standpoint. So these tools are ready. So three large pillars of growth: international air, hotels, and third being B2B, which is corporate and agency.
Prahlad, one last question. Recently, there has been a lot of hype for destinations like Ayodhya or, Lakshadweep. Have you noticed any major uptick in bookings for these particular destinations?
So you're talking more about spiritual travel, I'm assuming. So from a spiritual standpoint, I think yes, spiritual religious tourism is quite large, and there are uh, it is moving quite well. So we, in fact, just before the Ayodhya temple opening, launched something called Darshans by Cleartrip, where we are promoting almost 15 to 20 pilgrimage slash religious destinations across religions in the country. So interest for this is increasing. This has traditionally been an offline kind of a market, but customers are moving online. Customers are realizing that the kind of options which are available online are quite good as well. So yes, there is a significant surge. You could say interest is almost doubled from last year for sure.
Thank you very much, Prahlad, for speaking with us on Business Today Television. And we hope the long weekend and summer travel is going to bring green shoots back into the travel sector.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. It was good interacting with you.